Wait, DeWolf's the big mover, yeah.
And Annie is smart enough to know at 174 that the blinds are small. Who cares if I'm in last place? There's no need to panic.
Blinds up to 2 and 4,000, and you look around this table, say, who's got that championship caliber?
He did say that. He did claim
All of them.
Oh, he wrote it and someone stole it from him?
Complete toss-up, really. I think it's going to get down to who wants it the most.
That's how Hollywood's made.
Speaking of desire, heart, and commitment,
Not in America.
there's the man himself.
They will do everything with contact.
Well, here we go.
Cool.
Tony G limping in with King
That's
10
the
and
copyright.
Kravchenko this time playing the ace 3 of diamonds.
And the race.
Tony's been kind of mixing it up, the limps and the raises on the button.
Wow, okay, so Kravchenko has flopped the nut flush draw. Tony G has flopped 3 kings and they both checked. That's...
6,000.
Tony's so
Oh.
tricky. Is
Cool.
Well, that's very tricky. He just called. Wow.
yeah, but I mean, seeing as how
Wow.
Alex has nothing.
Well, Kravchenko does have ace high. He has a hand he could check down here, so that you know that
Yes.
works. That's going to work out well for him, because I don't think he has to play now.
20,000.
Has Tony sort of played this hand to get paid off by a queen? Is that what's in his mind, or?
Well, he's playing hands like I've never seen him play before. I mean, he actually just limp in with King 10, flop trips, checked the flop, and just called on 4th Street. Now, he could have made more money if he knew that Kravchenko had the nut flusher, but you can't know what your opponent has. So I like the way he's played this hand, and I don't see Kravchenko calling him here.
Could Tony have a deuce here?
Call to bluff?
Call to bluff.
Tony. You call to bluff me, yeah? Looks like.
He's thinking like you're thinking, Phil. He's never seen Tony G play 3 kings like this.
Exactly. I mean, I can't criticize a call here.
Oh my.
I still think he's probably going to fold, but
It's expensive for him to call stack-wise. But obviously it's expensive for him to let a pot go if he's winning.
I think if Tony G opens his mouth, Kravchenko will power fold instantly. Tony G, whenever he was strong and said something, I realized it instantly when I was playing against him and laid it down.
Yeah, he said nothing. No reaction at all. And Kravchenko knows him pretty well.
He called it.
Tony sold that
Wow.
all night long.
Wow! And Tony G, playing a totally different style of poker, has induced a bluff by Kravchenko with ace high. And in Kravchenko's mind, he's thinking, I would have lost money anyway because I had the nut flush draw if the hand was played faster. That's another reason he called. Wow.
Crazy that he wasn't bluffing, but it doesn't mean he had the best hand.
He's a complex man, Tony G. Poker-wise, he's won plenty of titles. Of course, the Moscow Millions, the Bad Boys. He has been both lauded and lambasted, but his heart very pure.
In tournaments, I'm donating all my money to charity. And I think I'm fortunate to be in that position. So I'll do the same for the Premier League. I think it makes me feel good about it and feels I'm doing a job for someone, so I have to perform well and win. You have to feel that you can do good things in your life and with your life and affect others in a good way. And if you can do as much of that as possible, then that's the most important thing for anyone, I think. It's the most important thing for me.
People are tuning in to see Phil Hellman.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
missing
he's
out.
commentating, so that's good. So they're
Yeah.
watching then. Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching.
And I bet a lot of tuning in to see Annie Duke as well.
They want to see Phil put you another hand every week.
I can guarantee that.
Ooh, that hurts, Roland. I'll be nice to you, though.
She gets the most hits on YouTube.
She gets the most fans on TV. Doesn't matter.
Phil, for sure, has way more hits on YouTube than I do. For sure.
It's not true, though, unfortunately.
That must be true.
Tony has the most.
I have the most, actually,
Yeah.
on YouTube.
No, I didn't say the most. I said Phil has more than
Lusk,
Everyone wants to see.
trips.
You have more
See
fans
how
than
I
any of
behave.
us. Tony.
You behave really bad.
Your fans could beat our fans up.
And Andy
If we
is
put all our fans together
making
and
a
put them
long
against your
call here
fans
from
in a
Tony
mob
G.
fight, you'd have us outnumbered. Cool.
So Tony, I don't blame him for firing out with ace high. Andy Black called needing an 8. And Marcellus smooth playing trips because he saw Tony smooth play trips and win some money.
And I mean, the call by Andy going for the 8, that's, at that stage he's hoping Tony has 3 10s, right?
Check.
Marcel checked.
20,000.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Lusk has played this hand just gorgeously. He's gotten Tony G to throw in another 20,000 on a stone cold bluff. You see the 0 next to Tony's percentage of winning. That's not good. That's a bagel.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing for Lusk right now is if Tony actually hits a pair, because then he can stop bluffing.
20,000.
And that's it. Tony can't do anything. He has to lay this hand down now because even if Lusk had 7-8, he just made 7s. So, I mean, but Lusk has played this hand masterfully.
I don't know if you were here for one of Tony's very first matches in the Premier League, but Marcel flopped a full house and Tony bet it 2 streets. He had 25,000 left and then Marcel bet into him on the river. And if he had checked, Tony would have done his entire stack. As it was, Tony came back with the 25,000 and won the heat.
I mean, that
I'm sure
was
you
just
might kick it.
gorgeous play
Yeah.
on Lusk's part. I mean, I really like that play.
over $1 million in prize money in the Premier League, $540,000 of which is on that final table. 6th place guaranteed $20,000 plus what the player has already won. 5th place gets $30K, 4th with $40,000, 3rd with $60,000, but the big money in the top 2 spots, the runner-up getting $120,000 and the winner $250,000 plus the trophy and the title.
Should probably make another raise test you.
Yeah, you should have done. It'd been interesting to see what I would have done next.
Yeah.
Either I didn't know.
I probably had the same hand.
Raise to 12,000 total.
Why?
The hooks for Annie, triple in the bet,
Yeah.
early up.
Just ace 10.
Plus.
Uh-oh.
Just the other day.
Uh-oh, Kravchenko with 2 aces. And he's a short stack, too, so he could get this on with Annie.
Re-raise.
Yeah, Annie ran into pair over pair, the queens against the kings, but this is deeper and this is only jacks.
20,000 more.
I mean,
She doesn't have to get involved here. She really doesn't. I mean, the thing that doesn't work in her favor is the fact that Kravchenko is the short stack.
he's also the one who played a really big pot against her. I think in their last match. They have history.
Look, I certainly don't mind her call. I mean, Kravchenko could have had ace-king. I don't mind her call. So let's see how she plays from here.
Pot's already big, and
I'd like to say that the greatest players in the world usually know when their opponent has aces. It's something about you usually know when your opponent has the best possible hand. And so let's see if Annie can recognize that and get away, because I believe because he has aces, she doesn't have to lose many more chips this hand.
250, how much? The bank is great.
35,000.
oh, this feels treacherous. This feels so treacherous, Phil.
I was buying by next year.
Until you lose one bet. And that will be the end of your
I'll be working for Pokies for a long time.
10 years.
You'll be at the bottom of the pyramid.
It's not easy for her to get away from this hand, but she's supposed to be able to. Look, it's just that
35,000.
Not yet.
Kravchenko is re-raised before the flop. He has the strongest possible hand. So there should be something going off in her head saying he has the strongest possible hand, and now he fired again on the flop. So I think she should be able to fold this hand, whereas maybe 2 levels from now, she would have to go broke with it.
He has a total of about 65,000 back, so if Annie's going to play this pot to the end, it's going to
Come on.
cost... Oh, no!
Cool.
I think that was a misstep on Annie's part. I don't like the way she played the hand. I think that, you should know when you're, the greatest players know when they're against the 2 aces, and definitely a
It was either
misstep.
folding or moving all in.
I believe she should have folded that hand. I'm not going to say it was a terrible play. She does have jack. She does have an overpair.
I've had
but
a few of those this tournament.